Anna here. Welcome to So Lord Create. I'm glad you joined us today. And if you haven't done so, please click that subscribe button and the bell notification so you're notified when we upload new videos. If you'd like to support us in some other ways, I have an Etsy shop with sewing kits of a lot of the tutorials that we have on the channel, and we also have a Patreon page with multiple tier levels. But today's project, we're going to be making a handy scissor holder, and it's for a small pair of scissors, so you can put it in here and then you can either thumbtack it to your wall, put a ribbon loop on the top to hang it, or you can add a snap closer to the front. So let's get started. For today's project, the scissor holder, you're going to need the following supplies. You'll need the pattern, and I will put that in the description below, a link for it. And then you'll also need some fabric. You're going to need an outer fabric and a lining fabric, and then you'll need some kind of batting. You could also use felt on this as your batting because you're not going to probably wash this, but you need some kind of batting or something for the inner part. So the first thing you're going to do after you cut out all your fabrics is you're going to lay your batting down. Then you're going to take your lining fabric and you're going to place it face up. So you need to put your lining fabric face up. Then you're going to take your outer fabric and lay it face down. And then we're going to clip it in place. And we're going to leave a small opening on this right hand side here. So I'm going to use my red and green clip method to leave this opening. So I put my green clip where I'm going to start my stitching, and put my red clip where I'm going to stop my stitching, so I know this is going to be left open, and then I clip it all the way around. So we're going to go to the machine, start here at our green clip, go all the way around and leaving this small opening. And remember, you have your batting, then your lining face up, and your outside fabric face down. So let's go to the machine. Now we're going to do our stitching starting right here at our green. So I'm going to take that green clip off, and I'm going to use the full width of my presser foot as my seam allowance. So I like to start with my needle down. And when I get to the corner, I'm going to leave my needle down, lift my presser foot, rotate my project, making sure that I line it back up with the outside edge of that presser foot, and then keep going. Now I'm back, and here's my red clip. So I'm going to take my red clip off and put my finger there as a reminder to leave this small opening for turning it right side out. Now we've stitched all the way around, we'll go back to the mat. Now we've stitched and we've left this small opening right here on this side. And when I stitch all the way around something, putting layers together, I always like to flip it over and make sure that I caught all my layers good, because now is the time to fix it before you turn it right side out. Before we turn, we're going to clip our corners on the diagonal away from that stitching, and that reduces that bulk so the corners will turn out a little nicer. And you're going to do that on all the corners. Then we're going to turn our scissor holder right side out. And when we turn it right side out, we want to make sure that we are turning between the two fabric layers, not between the batting and the fabric, because that way your batting will wind up on the outside and it won't work right. So just be sure that when you turn, you are going in between your two fabric layers. And I like to go to one of the corners, poke my thumb, get a big chunk, and then just kind of gently pull it and turn it right side out. There we go. And then I'm going to take my chopstick and I'm going to take and push my corners, and I'm going to do this gently so that they're really pointy. And then I'm going to go and run my chopstick down that seam to kind of make that seam lie flat. I go over and do this corner, and then I have two up here. And now I have my shape. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to turn these fabrics, make sure they're turned in and they're flat. And I'm going to press this with the iron so that when I top stitch to close that opening, those sides are turned in and it'll finish it off nicely. So then you want to press it. And if you press your project as you go, it just makes things sew a little neater, and it keeps everything where it's supposed to be. So when we go to the machine, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to top stitch all the way around using a narrow seam allowance. And then we're going to take and we're going to fold our project up. And on the pattern, I've labeled 1, 2, 3 on the pattern to show the points. So you're going to take point 1, fold it up to meet point 2, and that creates your scissor holder. So after we top stitch, then we're going to orient our project to our pattern, and then we're going to fold point 1 down here up to meet point 2, line up this edge, and then we'll stitch down this edge to close it. So let's go to the machine. We're going to start top stitching, and we want to start just above where this opening is. And for top stitching, I want it to be very narrow, so I'm now going to use the inside edge of my foot as my seam allowance guide. Again, when I get to my corner, I'm going to leave my needle down, lift my presser foot, and rotate, just like I did when we were stitching the original project together. And you are going through quite a bit of bulk with that batting, so sometimes you kind of have to give it a little bit of encouragement to start. And again, when I get back to here, I'm going to just cross that stitching a little bit and back stitch to lock it all in place. Now we've got our scissor holes top stitched, our opening is closed, and we're ready to assemble it. Again, I'm going to lay it with my lining face up on my pattern. That just helps me orient things the right way. And I know that number 1 is coming up to number 2. So I'm going to take and fold it up to number 2. And then I'm just going to adjust it to where it is lined up on this edge right here. And I'm going to clip it. Then when we stitch, we're going to do our best to go right down that same stitching line, but if you're off a little bit, it's really no big deal. So I'm going to start right here at the top. And I'm not going to start right on that, off that edge. I'm going to start here, back stitch, and then go forward. And that just helps the machine where all that bulk is and that edge, it just works a little better typically. Move this clip down just a little bit. I'm going to go forward, then I'm going to back stitch all the way off that edge, and then I'm going to go forward again. Trying to stay right on that previous stitching line as best as I can. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm going to go off the edge, back stitch, and then go forward again. And that just locks that tip in place. Now our scissor holder is assembled. We'll go back to the mat and talk about closures. Now we've finished our scissor holder, and let's try our scissors out. And they fit nicely. And this holder is made for a small pair of scissors. It'll hold this size from Dollar Tree, and they fit way down inside there, so you could do a full closure. These are a little bigger, and they stick up a little bit further, so your closure would be a little bit higher up. So you need to decide before you put a closure on it, if you're going to fold it and close it, what size scissors you're going to insert into your holder. And then the options for making a closure is, if I was going to make this one close all the way, I'd probably make it for this size scissors, and then I would probably do a snap. And you could either do a cam snap or the plastic snap, or you could do a sew-on snap. And you would probably want to use a snap of about this size to sew on if you were going to do a sew-on snap. And I've got a video that tells you how to do sew on a snap, or talks about snaps, and I'll link that in the description. But you could do a closure of a snap, or you could just add ribbon, a loop of ribbon right here at the top to hang it on your wall, and just stitch that right to the back. Or as you can do, like I said in the beginning, you can just put a thumbtack right there and hold it on your wall. So you've got several options on how you want to finish off. If you put a snap closure, then it's really nice and handy to drop in your sewing bag. But if you're going to keep it in your sewing room, you can either tack it to the wall with a thumbtack or put a ribbon loop on the top. So our project is complete. I hope you liked today's project, the scissor holder. And leave a comment below if you plan to use your holder for something different other than scissors. So, see you in the next one.